In Ireland, we love nothing more than giving out about something we're not happy with. In some cases, we'll grab the flask of tea, loaf of sandwiches, and go that extra mile and get out and protest. With students from over 150 countries beginning to protest about climate change, this got us chatting during the week about what protests we've witnessed that have rocked this country and what would actually make us get up off our arses and go out and protest, and what's our favourite all-time protests.
Yeah, no, this just can't be ignored because there is massive protests going on all around the world. Every Friday, it's kids who should be in secondary school, young fellas and young ones. Are they just taking the day off to have the crack, or are they concerned about climate change?
I can only think that when I was in school and someone said, right, it's going to be a protest there. You don't have to go to school Friday.
It's for the dolphins.
Yeah, I would have been like, oh, I don't care what it's for. Hand me a sign, I'm in. So like I would say some of those kids that are probably like doing LCA and are like, fuck that, give me the sign there, I'll go out and protest.
Fucking dolphins. But it's not an Irish thing. This is like started over in Europe. See, they're like genuinely interested in all that shit.
Yeah, we don't really care.
You're like, I don't live in the environment.
Yeah. I think I stated this to you during the week when we had a meeting, like, if it doesn't directly affect me, I don't really care. And then you were like, what about in years to come? And I was like, I'll be dead.
Johnny, you are a terrible person. You are an awful human being.
But like, he heard my take on fucking not having plastic straws anymore. So there's my view on the environment.
I contacted McDonald's.
Well.
And I said, look, some people, Johnny Smacks, not happy about the paper straws. Yes. And I'm all like, they're paper, they're biodegradable, better for the environment. And then long into our debate, we both kind of said, can you not just recycle the plastic straws?
Yeah.
And the guy at McDonald's was like, I'm going to come back and find out exactly what happens to the plastic straws.
Oh my God.
So for next week's podcast, talking to one of the big men at McDonald's, I got him on the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Go away, you were talking to some lad now, there's a drive-through in Cashel.
What'd you do with the straws? I don't know, lad, fuck him in the bin.
So we will have confirmation on that next week.
Yeah.
That's terrific news.
So Young People for Climate Change, as they call it. Students started this. It's in 150 countries now, and they've had over 4,000 events. Now, they did it in Ireland, in Merrion Square in Dublin, and they had 3,000 students at it. Now, I loved it because I saw some of the signs, and there was one young one. She was like up on a fella's back, and I think he had his top off, and she had a big sign saying, I want a hot boyfriend, not a hot climate.
No way.
Yeah.
But like, do we not want a hot climate?
You go to melt the ice caps, lad. The polar bears be fucked.
Yeah, but we'd be able to barbecue.
That'd be too unpredictable.
Oh, it'd be wild then.
Yeah, sure, like the farmers be fucked then, like they'd have no rain, you know what I mean?
I want a hot boyfriend, not a hot climate.
Yeah.
I like it. Like I reckon most of them just probably thought like there was a concert happening or something. They all had glitter on their faces and everything going protest. They thought it was fucking oxygen.
Well, since then, that protest, the government has agreed to one of their demands, and it says they have made a declaration that Ireland is a national climate and biodiversity emergency.
Okay,
emergency situation.
Let's all keep our composure.
And they're going to do fuck all, but at least they've declared an emergency.
You feel strongly about that, though, about the whole climate change thing. Like you've been.
Yeah, but it's costing us money.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's a carbon limit, and if you're not underneath that, you have to buy carbon credits of someone else. That's what China's doing. That's what America's doing. Okay. And we're like, you can either reduce your pollution or else like buy credits off a country that's not using all of theirs. Oh. So we're sending millions to Europe, and we should just reduce our.
So if you're so bothered, then why aren't you protesting?
So I'm flat out, lad. I'm flat out.
Genuinely.
I am flat out.
I'll give you a day off, man. You can take a day off and go up to Merrion Square just to take your top off.
I'm going to skip ahead and just say I kind of slightly disagree with your intro. I don't think Irish people do like protesting. I think there's a small majority of Irish people who love protesting, and most people are like yourself, Johnny, you think, who look at protesters and go, would you not go away and go to work, you fuckers? Like, yeah. A lot of people think like that.
A lot of people do, but like we protest per capita a lot for the size of the country we are. Like over in China, they're protesting a lot in China, but like there's loads.
They get shot in China.
Yeah, but there's loads of people we protest over like so the farmers protest. They all went to Dublin in a tractor. We're not making enough money. I was working in Super Value getting fucking €8 an hour. I wasn't making enough money. I wasn't chaining myself to the fucking front entrance though. You know what I mean? Like
John
sometimes,
Dolan.
yeah. Oh, the farmers aren't. We're not making enough money. We'll have a big tractor run.
Yeah, okay, like, that was great crack, I would imagine.
Farmer porn, lad,
Yeah,
from
there
lads
was-
from the country.
2,000 tractors travelled in what they called the tractorcade. Sounds like a transformer.
Marty Mohan led the way, lad. He drove first in his truck.
And they arrived in Dublin, and this is on January 10th, 2003. And to minimise disruption, they agreed to limit their convoy to 300 tractors, which descended on Merrion Square, where John Dillon of the IFA gave a rousing speech demanding an improvement in incomes. But see, beef prices can be dictated by the big companies,
Yeah.
the likes of Larry Goodman's and all, and milk prices. So the farmers have to vent somewhere.
But I think, like, the farmers were making good money for a lot of years, and they were still giving out.
I don't know how rich farmers are, lad.
Yeah, well, they're not going to tell you how rich they are.
They wouldn't tell you the time of day. They're not my cows in the field at all. I don't know who owns them.
But like, that's my thing. I think Irish people like protests. At the time of the water charges, there was lads out protesting the water charges who didn't give a shit. Like, they were
Yeah.
living in council houses. They weren't going to be fucking paying for the water anyway.
But straight away, you're making an assumption about the kind of people who are protesting. That's your view of
Yeah,
protesting.
but so you don't protest because you're flat out working.
Eventually, I have
No, you
protested.
just said.
Yeah,
You just said.
but I will.
I'm sure if he had a really strong opinion on something, I'm sure he would go and protest.
I've protested before, but I think if it was something massive now, like if there's another probably climate change one, I might go stick the head in.
Oh man, I'm going to video that.
Mm.
You going around with a load of crusties.
But sure, it's not just Krusty's lad.
No?
There's other lads at it as well. Okay, see, the farmers, yeah, you don't want to mess with them, lad.
No, they're not to be trifled with.
Plowing match on wheels.
They will.
But it's hard for... Okay, the kind of the only protest I took part in was, it's years ago, when I was in school, there was a teacher strike. And we were like, hey, we're doing the Leaving Cert here, what's the crack? Teachers kept missing days. So our school was one of the first in the country. After, as we'd call it, sus. After 11 o'clock. Did you have sus?
Yeah,
sus,
in
yeah.
primary school though.
Oh, man.
Yeah, little break.
I'm still a child. After sus, we all just walked out and just stood outside the school for the day having the crack.
So
When-
the students organised it
Yeah, students. And
in response to the teachers striking.
yeah,
How did that come about? Like what student said, right, we're going to have a yoke, and then like,
student council.
okay, right. Oh, fair play to him.
Yeah, they were like teachers. You like the teachers missed a load of days, and he was like, one of the guys was freaking out. Like,
But does that not directly contradict? Yeah, the teachers aren't teaching you,
I
so
was-
you're going to leave when the teachers want to teach you.
but it was the only.
Could you not have asked, I don't know,
No,
a
if-
sub teacher to come in and teach you for the day?
But sure, it was the only mechanism available to us. Like,
Did you stop the teacher strike?
We put a bit of pressure on him.
You put them under pressure.
Yeah. But sure, it's hard. Like, sure, what do nurses do? What do guards do? Like, they try and strike, and sure, everyone is like, "Oh, the poor patients," and then the nurses are like, "I can't afford to live in Donnybrook anymore."
I think the one we definitely get on to nurses and guards because they do deserve better. The one that kills everyone is when Ryanair attempt to strike. All those people all those Irish people who've got bargain flights to Torremolinos for their one fucking little bit of happiness in their year, and there's some fella from Ryanair striking, and you're going, please, I've saved up 9 months for this. I just want a tan and a cheap bottle of San Miguel. Can you not fuck off and strike another day? And they're striking a lot.
No, do you know who are the greatest shower of bastards of all time? I tell you now, the greatest,
Tell them to step out, John.
the greatest shower of fuckers has to be French air traffic controllers.
They're scumbags. Yeah.
Every time I go on a flight, those motherfuckers are striking. Or there's a thread of them. And the thread is worse because you're going to the airport going, is this going to take off now?
Yeah.
Are the French going to fuck the baguette out the window? And be like, sacre bleu, I need more money. Or whatever, like, you know? I don't know what they'd be arguing about, but the French Air Authority need to sort their shit out. I ain't even going to France. I'm not even going to France, and you're fucking up my holiday. Just because I'm flying through your airspace. Oh,
Jesus Christ.
sorry, we hit a slither into your yard, France.
Get it off your chest. Good man. Now, you mentioned briefly, Johnny, the nurses and guards.
Go on.
Now, in fairness to them, the nurses and guards are a vital part of daily living in Ireland.
Oh yeah, the
And I
nurses
think
anyway.
yeah, you know, somebody has to keep Ryan's on Camden Street open. So the nurses are a vital part. But the nurses and guards, what they're actually protesting for seems fairly legit. If I was a nurse or guard, I'd want fucking better as well. Like, so they threatened 24-hour strikes inclusive of 40,000 nurses. Like, what happened? What I want to know is what happened in the hospital when nurses were striking.
So they would have brought in agency nurses, and plus a lot of elective appointments and surgeries were all cancelled.
Okay, so they kind of downscaled.
Yeah,
Crew.
yeah, absolutely.
There want to be something seriously wrong with you. So the INMO is seeking pay parity with other graduate entry health professional grades such as physiotherapists. So you're fucking making loads of money.
Big money, John Boy.
Who it maintains are paid about €7,000 more than nurses. So
Don't be looking at me. I don't work in a hospital.
Jeez, I tell you, you're only rubbing legs. Do you know what I mean? And stuff
And
like
as well,
that.
we're only working 8 to 4 in a hospital.
So physios in the hospital work 8 to 4 and get $7,000 more than a nurse who does night shifts.
And lads, I'll tell you one thing, that
Lads,
the
you can't be
stuff
doing that.
nurses do in a hospital ward,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when I was on placement. I have so much respect for them.
Lauren, tell me this now. Tell me this. What's the points roughly for physio?
My year was 555, so
Go
it's
away.
around 540, 550, 560.
Did
Yeah.
you get 555 in your leave?
Well, you shouldn't get in by giving a hand job. Like, you got the points. Like, yeah. Well,
Yes, I would like to. Yeah,
Wow.
back that. I didn't get in with any.
And now you're on this podcast. You,
and
your parents must be so proud.
what's the points for nursing?
I think it varies, but it could
You
be
just have to be caring.
450 to about 500, I would say.
That's high enough.
But the difference there is the intake of nursing students will be much greater than it will be physio. So
Yeah.
like you have to obviously up the points if there's less places.
No, we're all for the nurses and guards. The union are arguing such increases are necessary to deal with recruitment and retention issues in the health service. Sure, all the nurses are off in fucking
Dubai.
Australia and Dubai and all these lovely places in England.
Them the crack.
Yeah, getting paid better. Why would they come home here for the misery?
It's good old crack.
Yeah, but we have to make it more appealing, lads, for the nurses.
I think that, Leo Varadkar needs to put a package together. There's a few bob, a Copper's Gold card,
Yeah. Yeah.
tickets to the qualifiers.
And
you
a date with a farmer from Wicklow or something.
Guard. Need some sort of guard teacher Tinder.
Access, yeah.
Okay, so the other mad protest that go on in Ireland, I'm saying, is the Legalise hash one. This goes on every year.
Jesus.
They have a big parade down the street in Dublin, and the lads playing the drums, fellas smoking funny stuff, the whole lot. It goes on every year.
Fellas smoking funny fags.
Yeah, it goes on. It goes on. And I remember one time it made the papers. It was big. There was a really big one. And there was a load of lads from Care in the photograph on the front of the Irish Independent or whatever. I was like, oh my God.
Were they mashed over, lad?
Fucking dreadlock warriors. A lot of them.
Jesus.
So the water charges, right, was one. Everybody got in on the water charges, really. But look, we all know the crack. Most people who were protesting about water charges didn't actually give a shit about water. It was like a protest against the government. We're not happy with the way things are going. General austerity. Because like the water charge thing was handled terribly.
Yeah.
But I understand the principle that they're trying to conserve water. And when they did introduce water charges at first, the national usage of water went down something massive, like 30% in the first month. Like people really started conserving their water. So eventually they'll come around and find some other way to make you reduce water. And that money you would have been paying on water tax, you're going to pay it in general taxation or somewhere anyway.
Yeah.
Was it to do with the water usage though, or was it just another way to get money through taxes?
Bit of both.
A combination, I would imagine.
That's probably what pissed off people more.
Yeah.
What?
That they were just taxing something that's so plentiful in Ireland.
But sure, it isn't plentiful. Like there's people all
We
over
live on an
Ireland.
island.
Really? There's people all over Ireland for years who couldn't get clean drinking water. Remember all the shit in Galway? For years. See, in Clare, you don't care about Galway. You turn your back to Galway. I wouldn't piss on Galway. In Galway, they couldn't drink the water for years. They'd buy bottles of water.
Okay.
So the water system in Ireland does need to be upgraded.
That's why people in Galway don't wash.
I remember when I went to Dublin first years ago, lads. I was on the bus, get the night clink home. And I got chatting to some random young one. And she's like, where are you from? Tipperary, yeah? Do you know why everyone in Tipperary is smelly? I was like, oh, okay, why? Because all your bats is full of poaching, yeah? There you go. Water charges.
Yeah, they took the water charges a bit far though when they falsely imprisoned the former Taoiseach Joan Burton in her own car during the protests. The lads got done for that.
A few lads got done.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, if you're protesting, you got to watch it.
Yeah.
You got to keep public opinion on your side.
Yeah.
And even if you hate Joan Burton, you got to let her do her job.
Yeah.
You've got to find a more peaceful way to protest.
You were saying you enjoyed when the old people protested.
Yeah, they tried to reduce the pension. And beat the fuck, the old lads... The old lads descended on the doll like there was fucking free tea and buns, lads. I swear.
They came up to the doll really slowly.
With their Zimmer frames.
Yeah.
But sure, you do not want to pick a fight with them, right? Because old people, they all vote.
Yeah.
They all have free travel.
Yeah.
And they fuck all else to be doing. If you and I are the old people, you're in for it.
And people like old people. Do you know what I mean? Like, you hate seeing old people struggling with anything, like, you know.
Yeah.
So when you see them under pressure, standing, freezing outside the doll, you're like, ye bastards.
Go on,
Just
sure.
give them the extra €2 a week. Like,
Go on, give them their money. But things happen, like the big movements in Ireland, the Repeal the 8th.
Yeah.
That started as a protest.
Yeah.
That was a regular thing.
And it ultimately led to the referendum.
Can I ask you something now? Protesting in Ireland. Most people have just gone online.
Or sign a petition or something like that.
Change your profile picture and has like Repeal the 8th across the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like online or social media protesting, you can reach a lot of people. So does it not have the exact same effect?
Does anyone care though?
Well, I think with the likes of the Repeal the 8th or the marriage equality referendum, that was won through young people's votes, which was predominantly swayed through social media. So I think if you were to just protest down O'Connell Street versus talk about it on social media for a couple of weeks, I think you'd have more benefit in social media for those two particular referendums.
Yeah. Protesting against the pension wouldn't be much use, lad, to social media. Like.
No.
Newsletter.
Yeah. As regards protest, right? That would get you out and protest.
I'll probably... After was something mental. I remember at one stage there they were talking about building a nuclear power plant in Ireland when we were kids. Now that was on the go, and people protested about that.
I remember they sent out like little iodine packs or something. Did they? Was that back in the day?
What?
Yeah, look me in the eye and tell me I'm safe.
Yeah, all this. Time that I remember that actually. Yeah.
Something mental like that. Now I protest.
Yeah, I would protest. The only thing that would probably get me off my lazy arse to get out and protest is if we could maybe like extend the weekend to another day. So everything would be a 4-day week. The bank would open Monday to Thursday. Schools would open Monday to Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday would be proper weekend job. I'm going to start that movement now.
How does that directly affect you though?
Because it'll be some crack
You
for me.
don't work 9 to 5 Monday to Friday.
I know, but like I like to have the weekend. You see, if I have a day off...
Johnny, you know, we're self-employed.
Yes.
You're going to be working 7 days a week anyway, hon.
Just extend the weekend, right? More crack. I'm thinking of everyone else.
You're thinking of the 3 nights out at the weekend instead
that
of
as
2.
well, but I'm selfless here. I'm thinking of all the people who work in... I've worked in a factory in the past. I've worked in these shit jobs. I've hoovered insides out pigs. I know what it's like.
Okay.
3-day weekend. 3 day. I'm going to get it going, lads. I'm going to get that going online.
Lauren, you took part in the protest once.
Tell us about your protest, Lauren, before we wrap this up.
I staged a player protest when I was 16.
What team?
What team?
We pulled our services from the local minor camogie team. It sounds hilarious.
On what grounds?
On what grounds?
It's a long story. Basically, there was some questionable tactics by the management in place, and we pulled our services. We went about it the correct way. We informed the club secretary, and the management stepped aside, and we went on and won the minor A shield. So
Shield.
Oh yes, this is the kind of the terms and conditions or the details of the protest. So in that particular year, all the A and the B competition was played out together because there wasn't enough teams, and basically our management kind of decided that they wanted to go on and get us into the B, and like didn't consult us, and we were like, no, if we're gonna be good enough to play an A, let's play an A. So basically they kind of half decided to start throwing matches. Yeah, and there was just some shady stuff going on, and we weren't included in these discussions, or weren't told. It was just
fucking clear hurling again. I swear to God.
Did you win the A?
We won the A Shield, yeah.
Alright.
Sure, we were buzzing.
Is the shield different to the cup or what? Like,
Yeah, so you'd have the A Cup and the A Shield, and then you'd have B. But like, I'm from Fecal, where we would have been slagged for being intermediate and being C and B. So,
So
if
you
we're
didn't
going to
win.
win A, we're going to win A, okay?
Yeah, but you didn't win the proper one.
Yeah, but we went on later years and won.
Didn't win the proper one.
You didn't win the
That's
proper
one. Shut
it.
up.
Game over. Protest didn't work. Go on. Good luck.
backfire nicely. I have to say.